Africa team leader, and Jeff is our technical lead for the International Committee. So, and you'll hear more about exactly their roles and what they've been doing as we go along. We also have a number of members in the audience that are members of the International Committee. If you just raise your hand, Sunny and Germa, who is going to be presenting later, Christian, and I saw Ludwig, who is chair of our lead actually for our Haiti team. So we also have a second team that is working on Haiti, if you're interested in that particular region. Earlier this year in March, the members of the International Committee traveled to northern Nigeria, and tonight we're going to tell you our story about what we did there. This journey started about a year ago when we did some training. We pulled in our sister organization in Maine, the Maine Solar Energy Association. John Burke came and he trained us on how to build 60-watt solar modules. And so we trained ourselves in that, and then we also trained ourselves on how to make solar cell phone chargers. Jeff developed a solar cell phone charger, which, Harry, you can probably hold that up over there. We can see over here. And then after that, we began to gather all of our materials together and to plan the shipping. You might notice someone in this slide. It's Ralph Jacobson from Innovative Power Systems. He helped us out a lot with a couple of solar panels and a couple of batteries. And this slide also shows some of our other members. Philip Moses and Yahya Nook were also on the team. They coordinated the shipping to get the materials over there. This is a little bit more information on the shipping. We shipped everything from tools, needle nose pliers, wire cutters. We didn't assume that we would be able to have access to anything there. So we tried to make a really complete list and ship it all over by container, by ship. So it took 3 or 4 months, but it worked out actually pretty well. We landed in Abuja, and then we traveled to this place, Kafanchan, a small city in the north. It's a rural area. These are some slides showing what the region is like. This is the marketplace. They are subsistence farmers. In other words, they raise their own food. And then beyond that, most of them have 2 jobs. For example, there'll be a farmer and a seamstress, or a farmer and a welder. So they do both. This is a field of yams. The dirt's piled up, waiting for the rainy season and the rain to come. Just a couple more photos of what the region is like. We did 3 projects. We did this solar watt PV module assembly. We did the solar cell phone chargers. And we also installed an LED solar lighting system in the pediatric ward of the hospital. The goals of our projects were to have a potential for creating income. From what we've been reading, this is the most sustainable type aid that you can do, is create a way that they can generate income for themselves. And then also to build human capacity. In other words, some of the students, after we trained them, we were hoping that they'd be able to get a job for an existing enterprise in the area or something like that. So both building the human capacity and/or a small enterprise. This is the pediatric ward of the Kafanchan General Hospital where we installed the lighting. It was constant inflow of mothers and children as we were there. It's a busy place.
And you can see at the time 1 light bulb was working, and what I noticed later on was they aren't real bright because the 240 volt system is actually only running about 120 volts, so it's about half voltage. And I was trying to figure out why the lights were so dim, and that's why. So they're not running even up at normal capacity. And then they're only on for a couple hours a day possibly, and it goes out. It's amazing.
It's real erratic. And particularly for these patients, a lot of them are sickle cell patients that need IVs. In fact, almost all of the children that came in, they put IVs in them. And to do that at night when it's completely dark is really difficult if you don't have adequate lighting. This is one of the moms and the patients at the hospital.
And when there's too many people inside the building, they actually come outside and you can see her sitting on a rug there because it's almost like overflow. I mean, there's not enough room to hold everybody.
All the way along, everything we did was hands-on. We involved them in everything. So it was hands-on training, and we trained all along the way. And here you can see Harry pointing out something, and Jeff, we're just beginning the wiring. We had about 15 students. We worked with, on the ground with an NGO called Fancium Foundation. And those students we worked with through them. Again, more training. And then we gave them books too with some basic solar electricity in them, so they had something in print as well, so that after we left they could refer back to some of the information we provided. This is the beginning of the wiring, and Jeff was our master with that. We began to put the wiring through the ceiling.
We kind of told them what we wanted to do, and then they decided how they were going to run the wires to that location, how many they wanted there, and how it would look when they're done. So I left a lot of that up to them, so that involved everybody.
Some more photos of that.
Mounting the switch boxes on a piece of wood, they chose to do that, and then mount it to the concrete wall inside the hospital.
This is a photo of Marcus, who ended up to be Jeff's right-hand man, a very experienced gentleman who knew how to put, for example, mount the solar modules on the roof, because they do get high winds there at times, and so just the way to bracket. So that's sort of a lesson learned in terms of really needing local expertise and experience was invaluable. So we relied on Marcus a lot. The group of students that we trained was very diverse. We had a young woman, an older woman. We had actually 3 women in the class, and we had 1 disabled student. So that was really interesting and really good. This is the light that we installed, 40-watt LED light.
1,400 lumens. They're actually made for tow trucks and bobcats, so they're weatherproof and they have a really long life. We installed 3 in the main pediatric ward and 1 in an overflow room adjacent to that they use as needed. So they kind of decided how they wanted to mount them. They mounted to a structure up above the ceiling because they didn't feel the ceiling itself was strong enough, which it didn't really look like it. So they took care of all that. Some of the students went up inside and made the final connections, and everything worked just like we had planned. It operates anywhere from 10 to 50 volts, and we're running it as a 24-volt system.
This is
Just laying out the board in the equipment room, we called it.
Some more work on the board in the equipment room with the controller and some bus wiring. And this is the 240-watt panel donated by Innovative Power Systems that we shipped over.
Before they put the bracket on, I guess.
Testing it out before we install it. You can see Harry on the ladder here with the students up on the roof, and the PV module is covered with a blanket until we get it up there. So they're figuring out some of the bracketing.
And the anchors to screw through the corrugated roof and then sealing it up so it's weather tight. Just another view with attaching the brackets to the roof, and Harry up there supervising. Yeah. Go ahead.
And this is ultimately the control panel in the control room, what it looked like. We have some instructions on there on how to shut the system off and how to put it in. Some fuse pullers, those yellow fuse pullers, so that they can take the system down if there's an emergency.
And that was installed we kind of made sure that before we left, they put a new lock on the door, and the window was made to fasten shut from the inside too, just so there wouldn't be any issue with anybody getting in there and maybe getting hurt or whatever. So it was in a locked room when we left.
And you can see our plaques. We mounted the plaques in this room as well. dedicating the system to the major donors to the project.
And just to the right of that is the large panel with the AC system in that works every once in a while, but that's the room that's into, so.
So this is not grid tied?
No,
And there you'll see, that was a good question, because there you see the batteries below in the yellow top buckets. And they're up off the floor a little bit. We had a little bit of table sort of structure made underneath them.
and then the lids were padlocked too, and then the nurse's station had the keys if they have to get into the batteries for any reason. Even though they're plastic, but they're still latched, so children, if they ever got in there for some reason, wouldn't get hurt. That's just an inside view of the two big batteries that are in there and wiring between them.
200 amp hour batteries. Okay, I'm gonna let Harry talk about this part,
Yeah.
because we went to test the lights.
Yes, thank you. At the end of the work day, we went back to the hotel, and then we planned that we're going to go back at night when it's really dark, so we can see how it looks like.
Excuse me, I don't think the PA system's working.
Oh, that's for the camera.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, and this is what we found out. When there is no electricity, so what they use is kerosene lantern. This is how the story we've been hearing, and then we've seen it now. We went there, Jeff and I saw them, use all over the world. That's what they use. And you can see that one too, and those are the nurses, attending to patients, they do that using kerosene lantern. And yes, that was one of them in turning on the light over there.
And this is when they're just
Do
having
you
the
remember?
kerosene lantern on right there. Then the next slide, I think, is actually showing when they turn the light on.
Exactly. It's
And you
now,
could see what the difference for providing
light.
medical care.
this is the LED light that we mounted.
So that's the one light there? The one light?
That's one by the
Yes,
nurse's station.
that's one by the nurse's
Two more in
station.
that room.
Yes, 2 more in that room. So
Pretty bright.
that's another one.
That was like one in the middle of the room.
Yep. That is the head nurse to that ward. She was kind of trying to express her pleasure, for what she has seen, and then you see other people around her too. They were so happy, probably gathering around, somewhere around, looking at, what they're saying there. They were very happy with us. You can see bright faces and all of that. And she comes around every morning, to say hello to us, And we found out later on that people in other wards, they were complaining that, where is ours? we need more, and then, so we have to tell them, we'll come back, or, we'll find a way to do something for you later. That's Jeff right there.
Jeff and
This must
Harry
have been-
had to
yeah.
work that day.
Yeah, our day starts at 8 o'clock and ends at about 7 p.m. every night. Yeah, and then we go back to the hotel. So this is the pediatric ward over there. So we finished mounting the previous day, and then we went in the morning and to check it out, see what we've done. These are the students. When we train them for the solar cell phone charger, and this is when they are doing their practicals. Jeff and Fran are very much involved because I was at the hospital, sometime. And the students are very enthusiastic. They are very brilliant. They perform very well.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them have to come far away from the suburb, just to come over here, and participate. So it's very important to them. They know that this is something that we help them, based on our explanation to them on about what future lies ahead of them, building capacity for them, what they can do with this, and they all participated very well. They did very well. Yeah. So here's another picture of them over here.
At that point in the day, it looked like the power was on, so they were able to plug a couple 220-volt soldering irons in, but the heat wasn't quite there all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
About 3 or 4 pictures back, there was a fan on the ceiling. Does
Yep.
this power the ceiling fans as well?
No, those
No.
pretty much work whenever the electricity would work.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we brought a solar soldering station with one of those when we taught a 60-watt panel class, and then we took that panel with us and a battery with us. So some of the soldering was done using a solar soldering station. We had the potential for 2 solar soldering stations.
So those are the students soldering the solar cells together.
That's for the 60-watt panel.
So, yeah, 60 watts panel. So this is before encapsulation. You know, try to test it out to see if it works. That's another one.
That's one of the solar
This-
cells.
Solar cell phone charger. You know, that's one that's been completed, and then they testing it out, and it really works well. Yeah. So one of the students trying to help with some illustrations over there.
A lot of the students trained each other and helped each other. They were at different levels of understanding of electricity and so on.
Yeah.
And we had a couple that were extremely bright, and that really worked well. That helped because, and then after we left as well, we could rely on that they could help continue to teach each other.
Yeah. So continuing, the students still putting each individual have to make, their own cell phone charger. So we have 15 students. They have 15 cell phone chargers made.
There you can
Yes.
see they're laying them out on the board,
Mm-hmm.
getting them ready to take it out and test it. The girls are really good at cutting them too, as we
Mhm.
found out.
Yeah. That's another.
That's Naomi with her cell phone charger. She's showing it.
Mm-hmm.
She's pretty proud too. She's
Yeah,
smiling.
yeah. And Naomi has been visited Minnesota sometime 2 years ago. She was here, and then she went back. Yeah. Yes, that's another cell phone charger right there, testing out. And this is certificate time, presenting them with certificates, for participation in the workshop. Yeah,
Yeah, we did sort of a graduation,
Yeah.
sort of a ceremony.
yeah.
They're all pretty happy to get those.
Yeah,
too.
very happy. Very excited. Yeah. Yep. And then we had a group photograph, after. This was the last day of the
Yeah, pretty cool, yeah.
project, yeah. So you can see the lady right here. That's the one that, that's handicapped, and then we took with us a wheelchair that we donated. We gave to. I think that was Yahaya. Yahaya brought it over, so we gave it to her. She was very happy. She didn't have any before. Yeah. Well, before I talk about this, these students, before we left, didn't have any knowledge about, how to make one cell phone charger, And now they're talking to us about making 8 cell phone chargers. That is, building a solar panel that can handle 8 cell phones
At one time.
at one time. That's what they're talking, which means, they've been thinking about, using all the knowledge that we've imparted in them. And the baby of all of this is that they've now formed KSC. When they call it on the phone, I thought they were talking about KFC. but they say KSC, which means Carpathian Solar Club. Yeah, so they now have a solar club, where they share knowledge, and they're just trying to, to grow, so they can work more with us. So hopefully, by working with them, they can do more in terms of growing in their solar adventure.
We're continuing to provide technical
Yeah,
support through Jeff. Jeff helped them design the charger phone.
Yeah.
and other support as well, a little bit with supplies as they need them and that sort of thing. So we're still supporting the Kafanchan Solar Club. And what's happening is exactly what we hoped would happen, is that they would take the basics that we taught them, and they would shape them and customize it to what they really want to do. And that's exactly what's happening so far.
This is the Mahmuda Primary School. We were supposed to be doing both projects. To install at the primary school and install at the hospital too. But due to lack of funds, so we have to cut it down to doing the hospital and the cell phone charger and a 60 watts panel building, stuff like that. So these are the students and the kids. They were so excited, and they all around us want to take pictures, And
That's a school in the background.
Yeah, school at the background. Yeah.
And we wanted to thank, in particular, our business contributors, Innovative Power Systems and Sundial Solar, and also all the individual donors as well.
Yeah. So yes, I want to also express my gratitude, for the opportunity, to have led the team, and also I thank Fran and Doug. The coach here, the international committee, Jeff, the team lead, they're very wonderful. This is a very big opportunity. We're going to be seeing more things coming in. Things we don't know are going to happen. That could happen. With our working with those people over there. So I really thank you very much.
Thank you. Now we have to pull his up. Actually, let's see.
Yes,
How long does the lighting system run?
This is correct.
it should run, let's see,
Is that right?
what was it designed for? It was like, how many hours at night? We had 6 or 8?
Yes.
And then, but now it's a rainy season, so they're having some issues with that. And one of the panels that ended up there was bad. It was only putting on like 22 volts, and it's supposed to be up around 33, like that one in the slide. So we're trying to see if we can get a way to ship another panel over there to like raise that up on the front end and at least get the batteries so they're accepting maximum charge like they kind of were designed to in the first place. So just unforeseen things, you ship panels over in a container and they arrive a few months later, and you get a bad one once in a while. So
How many solar panels do you guys have?
there's 2 on the hospital, 240 watt, 2 of them.
And 295 batteries?
Yep. And it's a 24 volt system, so the panels are 24 volts too. Yep.
How long was the training?
Almost every day we were there, probably like, 12 days, 10 days? Yeah. We pretty much did training like constantly the whole time we were there.
How did you pick up on Jen?
Well, I guess that was Harry. Harry was on the international committee, and
We were looking for an NGO, and we're looking all over the country. And Fansa Foundation was the one that responded early, and we were what to do what we have to do, and they were very good. The NGO CEO is Dr. Dada. He's very good. He is very good at communicating with us. So and then we found exactly what we needed with him. So we have to go to Kafanchan.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you guys encapsulate the 6 watt panel?
the encapsulation was done with Silgard 184, a 2-part epoxy, and then allowed to cure overnight, and then we framed it up the next day.
Okay, so
There you go.
go ahead.
My name is Groma. I'm originally from Ethiopia. Thank you for all of you guys to be here. And we'd like to introduce our next trip or project for Ethiopia. In Ethiopia, there is a shortage of electricity in the country, so people live without any electricity. You can say like less than 20% of the people live with electricity, the rest no electricity at all,
See, that was 20%?
less than 20%. Currently, like we said, we are focused on Ethiopia, especially in southeast part of Ethiopia. This is Oromia region. We are particularly like lighting house, charging cell phone. This is the most important thing people need today. Why we do this? In Ethiopia, like I said earlier, Ethiopian people have learned knowledge and awareness about clean energy so far. Like I said earlier, over 80% of Ethiopians live without any electricity in their home today. Why we do it, you know, to help these people. Like we said, 80% of these people living without electricity. And we'd like to connect like USA investors or technicians to the rest of the world. That's what this team does. The countryside of Ethiopia looks like this. And people are like countryside, most countryside so primitive, and they live and they do things like this. The study shows like this. This study is like you can see from World Bank 2012. Ethiopia is one of these countries that has a big issue with electricity. In countryside, 95% use the like fuel energy so far. This study is from International Energy Association, and it shows the solar energy is one of a potential energy that down the road we can use it, and can be in 2030, 36% of the energy comes from this part of energy resource. Let's continue. Like I said, the cell phone business is one of the top business in Africa these days. Ethiopia is one of a country that has a lot of cell phone users this day. That's why we focus on cell phone charging system. The study shows like Ethiopia is one of the top. 116% of the market is growing annually. And thank you. If you got any question, welcome. If you would like to contact us anytime, we'll take your questions. Thank you so much once again.
Before we go to questions, I do want to invite all of you, and if you're interested, to join the International Committee. We welcome new members, and so if you're interested in this sort of thing, we'd love to have you.
When do you meet, Grant?
All right, we meet on the fourth Wednesday of every month. We won't be having a meeting in July, but typically we take a summer month off. But typically you can count on the fourth Wednesday of every month, and from 6 to 8 in the evening.
6 to 8?
Yeah, at the Wilder Foundation building.
And there's also a team working on Haiti, is that right?
Yes, Ludwig heads our Haiti team. So if you're interested in that, Ludwig's right there. So
So So for Ethiopia, you guys gonna do the same thing in Ethiopia as you did in northern Nigeria?
Well, we're still planning that trip. We just started the planning. We're hoping to go a year from now.
Sure.
But it definitely the cell phone chargers, but beyond that, we're still working it out. And actually,
Training, right?
yeah, and the
Sure.
training.
Yeah.
Probably not the large project like the hospital that we were involved in here, but definitely the cell phone chargers and maybe a few other projects.
Kind of get it.
About how much was the equipment you
Grandma
needed
wants
to
to-
take to do the ward, one ward at the hospital?
Well, we shipped over, well, the container was actually full of other things too, like appliances and different things. That's why we kind of piggybacked with them for free. But Yahaya and Philip took care of that. The volume probably wasn't that much, was it? It was a couple of really big batteries, 2 panels, and all the tools in totes and different things. It wasn't a lot of volume really compared to a whole container's worth. Probably not even a quarter. I mean, maybe an eighth of a container. You know,
Yeah,
it
if-
probably wasn't much, but how else are you going to carry it? You can't really bring it on a plane with you.
Well, what was the net cost just for the equipment you did use?
Wow, I don't know if we know that because it was all
Yeah.
donated.
It was donated, so.
Yeah. And we did some fundraising too, and other people made really nice donations. And yes, go ahead. Yep.
Hi, I'd like to take 10 seconds of your time
Sure.
to introduce 3 people here. I'm going to ask them to stand. They are working on a very similar project in the Borina region of Ethiopia.
Oh.
So I would like
Ah.
to introduce them and have you connect with them.
Sure.
Absolutely.
It's in this farthest village called Bidre in the Nagale Borina area. So just to make the connection, that's all. And
Okay.
thanks, Doug. So we just came back
Wanna say
from
anything?
that part in February. I didn't like India one bit.
Yeah, by the way, injera is one of a good, flat, soft,
It looked
but
pretty
Ethiopia.
dead, you know, it didn't have any life. in it.
Most people said Ethiopian bread. I would say Oromia bread.
Just one last thing. I was so happy Ethiopia was invaded by the Italians, so now you get spaghetti in Ethiopia.
Could be true.
We got a question over here.
Yeah, my question is a follow-up question from the gentleman in yellow. You were wondering about how much, I don't know what the amount is, but I know that if we sit down within a couple of minutes, we can give you a ballpark figure. But more importantly, are you interested in helping out, donating, or sharing out a few bucks? We'll take whatever you are willing to do. But if we need some numbers, that's something we can sit down and
Please, we'll see you afterwards.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
The other thing we'd like to point out, in Ethiopia there is a potential market for all of those people who are really interested in solar energy project or investment. The government has a big project and plan and policies that supporting you. So please contact us if you are interested in. The other thing I would like to point out is we always welcome any person who has the same idea as we do and has the same vision, and to help people technically, financially, with anything that you might think help.
Thank you.
Do you know if there are any solar components being manufactured on the continent of Africa?
The question is, do we know if there are any solar components being manufactured on the continent of Africa?
I will find an answer to that.
I don't have any idea, but I do get some information from Christian the other time. Christian is a member of the international committee that there is one coming up in Kenya.
Right. So in Kenya today, they're planning on building a all renewable energy company. I think the plan, the works is in the next couple of years. they should have the plant ready. And I think it's gonna be manufacturing, the cells and also build, the entire photovoltaic, panels.
Where is this at?
But in Kenya.
Kenya?
Yeah, but most places in Africa, as I know today, the components are mainly coming from the Western countries. They do, majority of them do come from China, Canada, US, and Australia. Yeah, that's far as
And I take that back again. I just remember that sometime a few weeks ago or so, I heard about South Africa. There's something is happening in South Africa. If I didn't remember of any other place, South Africa, I'm sure has something going.
Anybody else?
Julie?
I'd like to hear what's going on with the Haiti Project.
Julie mentioned that she'd like to hear what's going on with the Haiti Project. I think I'll hand over the microphone to
Sure.
Ludwig.
Ludwig, why don't you, no, it's not here.
Oh, you want to come up front?
Why
Okay.
don't you show the light?
Yeah.
After that, I want to know what's happening in the America project. Here.
I'm Ludwig von Garn, for those that don't know me. And so what we're working on with Haiti is we'd like to see us start up a social business, or basically, like you said, develop a business that can be self-sustaining, that will create jobs and build the economy, but is focused around the renewable energy industry. So what we're initially working on, a student at Century College, Tom Warman, developed this lamp here. And it's a battery-powered desk lamp with LED. It also has the capacity to charge a cell phone off of it. And then the charging is all done with this solar panel. And on an extension cord, the idea being the lamp can stay inside. It's not going to be subject to weather or that kind of thing. But you can still get it charged easily. It was developed with cost in mind. So ideal situation we're checking out right now is to see, can we build this in Haiti and pay for all costs and sell it at a price that's affordable, that's going to be cheaper than kerosene lighting or things like that. So we're looking at some different options for how we can get in, test out, make sure this is going to work out, and hopefully set up some kind of small-scale manufacturing with it. That's kind of in a nutshell what we're working on.
Great. Thank you.
I'd have to look at the specs. I'm not the technical guy on this one. I'm focused more on the business. Excuse me?
It's like for reading?
Yeah. And I mean, if you want to kill the lights,
16 LEDs.
yeah, you would probably know better, Doug. Let's see, we had it out there. Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, you can turn it out. It'll light up really well.
Yeah.
And then if you flip the switch, it's got a standard USB port on the back, because most cell phones will run off a USB style charger.
In a dark room, I know, I was just amazed how much this lights up the room.
Mhm.
Just that one light.
Yeah.
So,
Anything else?
is there any other questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you.